Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, best place for long-term stock investors. Now, in today's video, it's going to be a very interesting one for you retail investors or specifically glove lovers, right? Because we're going to be talking about all of these glove stocks, Top Glove, Harta Lega, Kos and Supermax, as well as Inco, and what's happening, why is there a rebound recently. And in the next segment, we're going to be discussing a little bit about dating and investing. So stay tuned. As a disclaimer, none of what we say should be taken as financial advice. If you need that sort of advice, please speak to a professional. And as another disclaimer, we do own shares in Supermax.
Hey guys, before we begin, just to let you know, we have a totally free masterclass just for you to sign up for in the comment section or the description, where we will guide you on how you can build a 6 to 7 figure portfolio using the power of stock investing. Go check it out.
Okay, MJs.
Yes.
So, glove. Well, I mean, recently has been going up pretty decent actually.
30%
I mean, like
for Top Glove.
Yeah, so there's 30% up, and then we see another 30% up for Harta Lega. Kosan is up.
As usual, Kosan is always the
laggard. Yeah, it's always the laggard.
And
one.
as usual, Supermax is always the highest.
Yeah, so I mean, we did cover our own opinion on gloves. I mean, we also did deep dive a little bit on and we did a video on, like, if you are holding Top Glove, please do watch that video. I think you can click that video over here. And recently it has been rebounding really very hard. So is there any catalyst? Like, what do you see in glove?
I don't think so. From what I hear chatting around, a lot of this is actually just rotations. So when we are in a bear market, one of the aspects that is often overlooked or not discussed is that a lot of what we call so-called smart money, like institutional money, fund managers, all that, are looking for sources of return, right? And so part of that comes in, I don't want to say market making, but certainly they go into unloved industries with a big chunk of capital, which then, pushes the price up and things like that. So in a bear market, it's very common because it's very hard to find companies that do well, right? At least in terms of share price. So from what I hear is that a lot of this is rotation. So a lot of the companies, maybe a lot of the fund management companies or institutional monies, maybe they got into something like, I don't know, oil and gas. They've done quite well, but they realize maybe there's not much left to run. So they are transitioning into something else. Yeah. So they say, well, gloves is pretty low. Let's give it a pump. It's very normal. And actually, if you look at the chart, let's just go back to Top Glove, right? So if you look across the past 5 years, right, as it keep declining, there are always all these small little pumps on.
Yes.
So like here, you see, you got a nice 20% pump in March, and then you got another one yes. How do I do it? Yes. Yeah, maybe I have to go 1 year lah. Yeah. So you can see there's a pump here, right? 20%, and then here again.
Yeah, there's always like those small little rebounds, you see. But as it rebounds, it's like getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah, so it's called, they call it dead cat bounces, right? Or like bear market rally, they call it. So if you look at the past year, right, this is whatever is happening today, which is where we are up like, 30% has happened probably. So maybe here is 1 time, 2 times here, 3, 4, and then 5. Happened 5 times in terms of spikes. Then, of course, if you extend further, you get even more, right?
Yep.
So it's very normal for things like that to happen. Am I saying that therefore we are in a bear rally? No, not necessarily, but it's something you guys need to take note of, right? And if you have lost faith in gloves, but you have a whole certain holding in it, and you felt like, you put so much money into it and it's down so much and the cost is sunk. If you believe it's a bear rally, if you believe that the company is not something you like, perhaps this is an opportunity for you to exit during this time. But if you have a long-term outlook, which I certainly put myself in that category, then certainly, although gloves, the entire situation has changed, I personally have a very small position into gloves because I believe that I get the feeling that it's a bit overblown. How is it that today the price is lower than 5 years ago?
Yep.
Right? They're a lot bigger, they have more capacity and things like that. And in fact, it's like 2015 prices. Right?
Yeah.
So, but I have a long-term outlook. I have a willingness to hold, and so my objectives are very different.
Right. Actually, I have nothing much to add on.
Yeah.
Because we just did coverage on gloves like 2 weeks, a few weeks ago. Yeah. So the fundamentals don't really change that quick.
Yeah.
Like just a snap of finger, like a few weeks. You have to look at the numbers and what the numbers are telling us. I mean, if you did study a little bit about Inco, because they recently just announced their quarterly earnings, and they actually reported operating loss. So thank God there's like a stop bit because I managed to like sneak peek and see a little bit of this update. So their quarter 3 report, right? They actually announced 161 million China yuans of operating losses.
Yeah.
And their operating margin loss is right now a negative 10.9%. So what does this tell you? I mean, it still doesn't look that there's a positive outlook for glove at the moment. I mean, China is still we heard it even from Hatta Lega's AGM that the Chinese players are aggressively selling their gloves at the below market value.
Yes.
So
this is a recording, right? On
yes,
Hatta Lega.
correct. Yeah. Even Hatta Lega CEO admitted this themselves that they are in a space where it is pretty, if they want to compete, they have to compete with price.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And another thing is that yes, there's a lot of small players. Some are out of business. Some are desperately selling, wanted to sell their glove business. But that doesn't mean that the big four will actually purchase them.
Sure.
Yeah, because they want to know whether is it really that. Number one is, of course, is it how's their operational efficiency? Is it really that good?
Yes.
I mean, there's like certain standard and requirements that the big four has before actually acquiring those small players. So that is something you still need to know. There's still a lot of blood in the market, in the glove industry.
Yeah, true. But I mean, just to echo, honestly, we just, this video as an update. Honestly, there's not much else that we can add that we haven't already add. Go watch some of our other videos on Top Glove or gloves in general.
Yep. Okay, I think that's about it.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll be talking about
the
next one, which is dating.
Alright guys, if you didn't know, we have a one-on-one mentorship program where you can apply for, where we level up your stock investing based on tailor-made solutions. If you're interested, you need to apply. Not all of you all will get into an interview. It's only 20% of you all will do it, and even fewer will get to hop on the program. But if you're confident that you can qualify, you can click on the link and fill in your details in the comment section or the description.
All right, guys, welcome back. Okay, so in this segment, we're going to be talking about dating and investing.
Ooh.
Okay, so I actually came across this article, right? It is 3 things dating and investing have in common. Okay, so the first one is basically they mentioned that it's actually very crucial for you to align on your core values. Right. So basically about this core value thingy, right? So assuming that you are a long-term value investor, but your partner, it is a get rich quick, like she's like a always wanting to get instant return, those kind of values. So how would you like consider still dating that girl, or would you like start to like separate yourself because it differs from your core value?
Yeah, I think generally the answer will be no, because money alongside, I believe, infidelity are the top 2 reasons for divorce. Of course, with breakups, maybe it's a bit different, but I think it's roughly the same. So yeah, I wouldn't do it. However, is there a circumstance where, maybe like every other aspect of her is so great that, maybe it can trump this part? Again, unlikely, but if there's such a situation, it has to be where, okay, look, some people, like, okay, just as a tangent, right? You know that there are a lot of families that last very long and do very well, where one side, let's say the father is a spender and the mother is a saver, vice versa.
Yep.
Right. We know that's possible. What I think is important is to actually compromise and to set the boundaries right. So let's say if I'm more long term, I want to delay gratification and I want to spend it now. Let's say, okay, you can do that, but maybe don't spend everything, right? So to put numbers to it, let's say if you're always saving half your income, it's also not very fair to impose that on your future spouse or your girlfriend, right? Vice versa. But at the same time also, you have to tell her, if you are saving nothing and if you're getting the credit card debt, that is going to hurt like you, number one, and number two, is going to hurt me as well as an extension.
Right.
Okay. So, as a result, you will need to help her. Let's say if she is the spender, right? To say, okay, look, how about this? We start with zero savings, no credit, assuming you got credit card debt, right? Let's try to stay on budget. So you spend everything you earn. It's fine, okay? That's a start. And then maybe push her to, let's say, 5-10%. Can she do that or not? And then you just stop there. Then after that, it's fine already, because here is someone who's not a natural saver already making an effort to actually save some money. So it's very good. Now, on the flip side, it's also actually true. So people who are savers tend to be maybe, they are like Scrooge. Have you heard of Scrooge McDuck? Or they are like, they are stingy, or in Chinese we call, or Hokkien we call kiam siam, right? So that is also something that needs to be fixed. Maybe they need to lower their savings rates to improve the quality of their life. Eat better food, use better equipment at home, invest in, maybe a Dyson, vacuum cleaner, right? And get people like that to realize that, hey, it's not just about the dollars that you save, but it's also the value that you get out of paying for that amount, right?
Right. Okay, that's actually a pretty interesting take. That actually I don't think not many will actually consider, because usually the guys will be like I would say like guys, because they have like a lot of pride and ego, right?
Yeah.
So they would want to spoil their significant other, so they don't really care if they are a saver or not. But if she's a saver, she's a keeper. Okay. So the point number 2 that they actually wrote is that valuing consistency over novelty can be the key to long-term success. And actually I agree to this. Like if there's like any sort of arguments or problems that arise in the short term, the best way to solve it is actually solve it there and there. Like don't take it to the extent that like months or even years, then only you start to point out, hey, actually I don't like what you did to me like 1 year ago. So actually what are your takes on this?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to connect what you just said and this. What they're trying to say is that
is that okay? So let's say like those general kind of dating, right?
Right.
The first thing is, of course, you're gonna be very lovey-dovey,
right?
Because you're just starting off fresh, right? So you go to honeymoons, you go to like trips or whatsoever. But as the years goes by, I mean, you start to get used to people. Then you start to have like, I prefer to stay at home instead of going to honeymoon already. You start to reveal your true face, I would say. So it's somewhat like, it's not really like a consistent, like output I would say. So that's where I'm trying to come from.
So actually, this is very interesting because generally, especially on the girl side, right, they like it when you put conscious effort into planning, doing things, or whatever, right? They like that part, and that is usually happening at the beginning of the relationship. And then, as you say, as it progresses, then that
it dies out.
Now, the reason it phases out is because I think it's just a natural way of things. It has to happen because I was just listening to a clip yesterday on TikTok, right? That said that 99% of your brain is unconscious. That what goes on in your head is unconscious.
99%.
So when you're trying to stress and be conscious about everything you do, right? you're only applying that 1%, right?
I mean, that kind of makes sense why I cannot remember what I had for breakfast yesterday.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what am I trying to say is that people need to move from conscious relationship competence to unconscious relationship competence. Okay, so let me break it down, right? There are 4 states you can always be in a relationship. Okay, and I think people who are listening, who are dating or have dated can can relate to this. So the lowest level is when you have unconscious competence, incompetence. Sorry.
Okay.
So it means you are bad at it and you don't know. That's the worst one. In fact, a lot of times that is the case, right? People have incredibly impatient, or they have anger issues, or they are incredibly like they're not maybe they're not very empathetic, or they don't care, whatever lah, right? They're rude, but they don't know. So they keep on going thinking it's the right thing, or thinking there's no problem.
Yeah.
So that's at the bottom of the barrel. Get rid of that. Second thing is conscious incompetence. So you are rude, you're impatient,
But you know.
you are but
Very
you
conscious.
know. Okay, great. So that's way better than the 4th one. But you still have the problem, right, of your issues and your characters and beliefs and all that. Then the next level, which is only number 2, is conscious incompetence. Now, why is that ranked number 2? Because you are competent now. Now you can be good at a relationship, but you're applying your mind consciously. So there's a lot of effort required, mental effort required. And unfortunately, even though at second place, that's what a lot of people, both men and women, want. They want their partners to be consciously competent. But that's number 2. The best one is unconscious competence, meaning you are good without thinking. You just do it.
It's something like a habit, right? Like
Yes,
you unconsciously like do it. Like for example, you always like make coffee for her like unconsciously.
You just wake up and
That's for you.
So what I'm tying it back to this point, because I think that's where consistency comes from. Consistency cannot come from conscious competence, because right, it's draining. Like
It's mentally
difficult.
definitely.
But to achieve that, you need unconscious competence, where it's automatic, second nature to do it. And for that to happen, you need repetition and training. But the problem is, a lot of people want the finished product in their partners. They don't want to train, they don't want to have the patience, they want it now.
Yeah. That same applies to investing. I mean, everybody wants the results, but they don't want to do the process. They don't.
And then they create, and part of it is watching Disney movies and chick flicks, or like, oh, you complete me, or you're perfect. No, there isn't. Like it's a WIP, it's a work in progress. And once you reorient your thinking to start from there, then you know, okay, there's work to be done. And if you are like, oh yeah, I don't want to do work, then I'm like, okay. If you don't want to work, then you stay where you are.
So for you guys and girls, remember, unconscious competent.
And it's not a bad thing. Okay, people will say that, no, I want you to plan and be conscious. No.
Yeah. Okay, the final point we have here is, okay, so going through a tough times can be an opportunity rather than a hindrance. I think I briefly mentioned this also before that, is something with the argument lah.
Yeah.
Like take arguments as an way of solving a potential problem in the future.
Yeah.
Like if you solve it right now, then in the future you know what to do with it lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same thing to investing. I mean, most people see tough times as bad and they want to avoid the market. They don't want to invest, right?
Yeah.
Rather than actually going into the market and understanding what's happening, and from there seizing opportunity, all kinds of opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, it kind of explains it that way. But what is there any thoughts do you have for this point?
Yeah, so one of the things I'm not sure if you realize is that when people go through some sort of hardship together, they become closer.
David Beckham and his wife.
Yeah. You go through some tough stuff, you will definitely so it could break you or it could grow you stronger. It's very hard to be in between or to remain the same. So the question probably would be how can we turn all these challenges into an opportunity instead of to be seen as a failure or like, something negative? I think a lot of it is probably ego, where a lot of people don't want to enter a bear market because they are fearful of seeing their stocks drop a lot. In the same way, people don't want bad stuff to happen in a relationship because in their imagination, a relationship should be maybe perfect or no arguments, or even like, people shouldn't know about all these struggles and things like that. They want to be.
They just want to hear the good stories.
Yeah, they want to hear the good stories and things like that. So it's pure ego, right? And that's how I would link these two things together. But if you can go past that and keep your eyes on the prize and recognize that hardship, suffering, and all that can actually be it's an opportunity for transformation, then you will go through it and stick through it. You won't like run at the slightest bit of discomfort. And this especially true in investing, because we know that over time the market goes up. But at least in the US, to a lesser extent Malaysia, we know it keeps going up. And even if the market don't goes up, we know good stocks go up also.
Yes.
Even in the bear market or flat market. Japan is flat, but there are a lot of stocks that did well in Japan that you just don't know only. You never bother to find out. So yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, 100%. Okay, so I think this is the end of this mini podcast. I hope you guys learned a lot from today's video. So if we talk about glove, we talk about dating, if you like those stuff, make sure you hit that like button and tap on that subscribe button so that you know when new videos are out. Follow us all on our social medias, our Facebook, Instagram, all those good stuff. Links are all in the description. And I think we'll see you in the next one.
See you guys.
See you guys. Bye-bye.